Fundamentals team. I've been recording this course so long that you guys are seeing my hair and myself age in real time. That's how long this course has taken. I started it at 20 and now I'm 25 years old. So anyway, team, this is the final part of the course that I've filmed, at least on fundamentals. Maybe you're watching this out of order or in order, it's probably different, but this is the last one. And in my opinion, that the team is probably the biggest one, probably the most important one for a certain type of fundamental analysis that we do. Because at the end of the day, it is down to the team whether a project succeeds, right? How does a project get flows? Well, the team has to do something. How does a narrative build? Well, there has to be a team that can build shit to create a narrative. How does a community form? Well, the team has to build it. How do they build good tokenomics? Well, a team has to design it. Pretty much every single of the fundamental characteristics we go over are largely determined by the work of the team. And if there's a shit team, pretty much all the other sectors don't matter, right? There is some examples of projects that won't have great teams and they can be amazing investments, but generally speaking, you want to be finding the best teams in crypto and you want to be allocating to these projects at the best prices, okay? Now, one other thing I want to mention is that just because the team's amazing doesn't mean you should buy, okay? Just because Apple's a great company doesn't mean you should just buy it at any price, right? You should obviously look to time entries and look outside of just purely the team. There's more variables than just the team. And in crypto, often it's not the best of the best team that makes you the most money. It's a coin which just has a great team, not the best, but still a great team in a really good sector, right? Or on a really good chain. So for example, a really great project built on DOT is probably going to do shit. A really great project built on Base is probably going to do really well, for example. So let's get into fundamentals of team. So with team, I think there's 4 main factors, at least specific to crypto, on how you can pick a good team, of what you should be looking for. So fundamental number 1 is that, do they build fast and pivot quick? Number 2 is, they have to have a motivation beyond money. Number 3 is there a genius founder behind the project? And number 4 is there a history of success with other projects or other things that they've been building? These are the 4 main characteristics. So let me get into the first one. So because crypto is such a new industry, it's changing every day. Every day I wake up and there's new shit coming out, new drama dropped. I feel like I'm living in LA or something, what LA must feel like. There's just constant drama, shit changes every day, new movies popping up. That's what crypto feels like. And there's this whole meme in crypto where it's I've only been in crypto for 4 years, I still feel young, and it's a photo of a 60-year-old man. Crypto will age you and it moves so quick that it feels like you've lived a lifetime in a year. And in crypto, what was really popular 6 months ago is probably dead today. The NFT exchange token thesis was super hot when I was on that a year ago, and then 6 months later it's dead. It's not even Blur goes down 98%. If you blink an eye, it fucking goes to zero almost. So yeah, crypto moves really quickly, and because crypto moves really quickly, you as a project founder or you as an investor need to find the project founders who are able to build fast and pivot quick. And the best companies in crypto, the best performing assets, are coins which have been able to pivot quickly to stay on the latest trends, to stay at the bleeding edge of innovation or the bleeding edge of where the attention is, right? It's not even necessarily you have to build the best tech. It's more can you pivot to where the attention is? And the coins which are able to continually stay at the front line of where the attention is are able to capture all that attention and turn it into value for their holders. And I think the best way to explain doing build fast and pivot quick in business is with a case study. So I want to talk about Binance. So when Binance launched in 2017, I think it was just an exchange. Binance, just for context, at the time, the founder of Binance was a designer of systems for allowing for the trading, the buying and selling of things on an exchange. He built exchange infrastructure. And he was the builder of the best exchange infrastructure like in the world. And so he was like, why don't I build a crypto exchange with the best trading infrastructure, because we're able to do that, and then launch it. And then he did that, and it went great, and he built a big exchange. But then crypto changes, right? And then there's these things called launch pads. And then Binance was like, fuck, okay, why don't we launch our own launch pad? And then, the token goes up more. And then they see that education's a big thing. And then they're like, fuck it, let's make Binance Academy. Let's make a big education platform. And then they see that there's so many different sectors of crypto, they can't possibly cover them all. And there's so many good builders. Fuck it, let's build our own venture firm, Binance Labs, right? And then another thing is like, oh wow, you can build your own blockchain. Like Ethereum's fees are really high. People are going to all these different lower fee chains. Why don't we build our own blockchain? And then they built the Binance Smart Chain. And then, in terms of the launch pad, right? You had to hold Binance token, Binance coin, to get into the launch pad. So that's why the price went up from that. And then I guess the BNB token is used on Binance Smart Chain, so that makes the token go up more. And then Blur comes along, and then Binance is like, fuck, Blur's taking over market share, let's launch our own Blur. And then they launched their own NFT marketplace. So Binance has just been this amazing, just giga project in crypto, which went from nothing to one of the biggest players because they're able to, what was the thing? Build fast and pivot quick. They're an exchange, and now they're a launch pad, and now they're a fucking venture firm. They did everything, and they still do everything. And that's what's enabled their success, the fact that they can, see where the market's going, what people are going to, find interesting, or what they currently are finding interesting, and then offer that to them, sell that to them. And that's, as you can see here, what has enabled the token to do really well. This is back in 2017, okay? How many tokens since 2017 have continued on to new all-time highs over multiple market cycles? Not many. So Binance is an outlier. Binance is one of the only outlier coins in crypto that has had a new all-time high in several bull markets. How many other coins have pulled that off? Well, Ethereum, Bitcoin, maybe Matic. That's about it. So this is a classic example of that ability to do that. So it's better to be a great team in a shit niche than a shit team in a great niche. Because in crypto, right, if you're in a shit niche, what's the most important thing? Well, you can build fast and pivot quick. Okay, well, we originally launched as a AI data company, and then we realized there was no money in that, and people wanted a private decentralized exchange using AI technology. So then we just pivoted to that. And then we realized that people actually wanted this, and then we pivoted to that, right? The ability to pivot to what makes the most sense is what makes a great team. And the niche is irrelevant. You put a fucking amazing team together, they will figure out how to build stuff. And maybe this doesn't make total sense to you because maybe a lot of you guys watching this have never built a business. But in business, from what I've learned from building my businesses and working in Hustles University and stuff, is that if you put a group of insanely smart people together, being guided by a giga genius founder, they will, even if put in a shit niche, figure out how to conquer an industry because they will just pivot. Okay, so that's, I guess, fundamental number one. Fundamental number two is a motivation beyond money. So I want to talk about a story time with Andrew Tate. So I worked with Andrew Tate in Hustles University. That business scaled from 0 to 150,000 paying students in about 1.5 years. So 0 to $10 million a month in 1.5 years. One of the fastest growing companies of that time, right? Obviously not of all time, but of that time, right? Pretty fast growth, especially considering in that industry, right? Of info product industry. Probably the fastest growing info product business ever, okay? Even when we had 100,000 students, 110,000 students, 80,000 students, they never stopped. There was never a day where they worked less hard than the last because of the fact that they made a lot of money. Nothing that these guys did, Andrew, Tristan, Luke, was driven by money, or was to, get to this end goal of, I've got this much money now, I don't need to work anymore. It did not matter if these guys had $1 million, $100 million, $1,000, $1 billion, $1 trillion. There is nothing that could possibly make them work less than every second of the day. And that's a crazy thing to think about. If you want to find and you want to bet on a founder, you want to bet on the guy who could become a trillionaire and still work all the time, right? There's a lot of guys who build businesses in order to fund a certain lifestyle. They do business they do business as a means to an end. They do business for a certain outcome, right? I'm going to make 10 million and then I'm going to stop building businesses. If you're trying to find the next unicorn company, you can't bet on that guy. If you think that the founder can make 10 mil and then go off and party on yachts in Miami and just fuck hookers and black chicks for the rest of his life and just be a lazy fucker, you should not bet on that guy. He's a loser. If you find a guy who just loves building things and he's just wanting to build things because he just fucking loves building and there's no money amount that you could give him that would ever make him stop building, that is someone that you want to bet on. Because ultimately, in life, there's different types of people. There's the builder archetype who just loves building things, and then there's the lazy person. They want to build something, but they just want to do it for the net outcome. And in crypto, most of these projects, these NFTs, these coins, they're built by people who want to make 10 mil and then fuck off into the forest. Or make 10 mil and then just spend it all in the club in Miami, right? That's most founders. But there's a few founders like Andrew Tate, for example, Vitalik, or CZ from Binance is a perfect example. These guys will accumulate endless sums of wealth. They will never have their family will never have to work again for the next 1,000 years. Yet all they do is continue to work. They can't stop. Those are the people you want to bet on, and that's what I learnt working with Andrew Tate. The reason these guys are the biggest in the online money industry is because they don't give a fuck. They don't care how much money they have. They keep working all day, every day. Every day they wake up and they feel like they're back at zero. They wake up and they're like, fuck, I got $0 in my bank account. How am I going to make money? He could have $1 billion in his bank account. He could have $1 trillion. It really doesn't matter. Because why do these people why can't they stop? There's some people in life who are sort of fucked up in the head in a not necessarily bad way, but they're sort of fucked where they just can't stop doing things, right? Andrew Tate will never be able to slow down. He will, for the rest of his life, work and think about competition and think about war for the rest of his life. And if he was to ever stop thinking about war, competition, beating other people, achieving success, he would self-implode. He can't live in a non-competitive mindset. If he was to ever become not the best at things that he does, it just wouldn't work out. It would be a terrible negative spiral, and it would just completely fuck with him. The only way that he can keep himself in this good mindset and frame of mind is to just keep doing shit, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm not trying to hate on Tate, but I'm just saying that if you're trying to find a founder to bet on, you'd bet on Andrew Tate, because this guy's never going to stop. And it's the same with guys like CZ. That guy can't stop. He's always building things. He stepped down as CEO of Binance only because the US government likely told him that he had to leave, or only because he had to do it to save face for the Binance company, right? He's like the guy that the bad reputation goes down with him. And then the Binance company is allowed to just exist, right? That's sorry, it's a bit noisy outside. What was I getting distracted on? So yeah, like CZ, the only reason he stopped working was because he had to. But he didn't actually really even stop working. He's now just basically in the consulting game, consulting other crypto projects on how to scale their companies. So even when he got forced to quit, he couldn't quit. That's the guy you want to bet on. Okay? So what are the key takeaways? Regardless of net worth or income... Actually, let me shut the door. It's getting noisy. Sorry. Sorry about that. This is raw. Raw, uncut footage. regardless of whatever money they have, they start at zero. They're back at zero. Guys, we're at zero. We've got to keep working. Actually, another little